Now, we all have to deal with the world. And everybody we have to deal with evil, with darkness, with what is not right. But how do we do that effectively and at the same time keep our purity, our innocence with God, and yet deal with the world? How do we deal with the darkness and preserve the light? How do you effectively deal with the schemes of the enemy and walk effectively against it, and yet also preserve your heart open to God? We're going to find the keys through the words of Messiah, where he says this, and I'm just going to focus on these words here. Matthew 10, verse 16, and it's these words I'm focusing on. Be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. Now, first, what's the context? The context here is this. He says, I'm sending you out as lambs among wolves. I'm sending you into the world. There's going to be persecution. You're going to be arrested. All the culture, everything is against you. Be wise as serpents. Be gentle as doves. Now, of all generations since the beginning, we can identify with this now. There's more persecution of believers in our time than any other time since the beginning of the age. And we can see the signs of it. A culture that increasingly wars against God's ways, God's works, and God's people. A culture that says evil is good is going to also say good is evil. Very important to get this, what I'm going to share today, for as an end-time believer and simply dealing with life. Now, normally we don't think about serpents as being good because the enemy really messed it up for serpents. They're a symbol of evil. But here he says, be like a serpent. The word in Greek is phronemos, which means discretion. It says wisdom. Your Bible might say shrewd. Be thoughtful. It means cautious. Be careful, cautious. The Lord never says don't be wise. Some believers think wisdom is a sin or caution is a lack of faith. It says here, be cautious, be wise. Be wise here. A long time ago when we were searching for a building, our second building, which is just like a fraction of where we are now, we saw one, but we didn't know if it was God's will, and I was telling a sister, and she said, oh, Pastor, you have to have faith. I said, wait a minute. I don't know that this is God's will. Why would I have faith that he's going to do it? I have faith that God's going to do it. But I don't know. It's not wisdom just to apply faith to anything. I remember two believers, good people. They were new believers. I was new at the time too. And they got married. And when I asked, well, where are you going on the honeymoon? They said, well, we're going to let God tell us. Well, the Lord can do that. I mean, he can tell you, I'm going to have something else. He could do it. But if he doesn't tell you, it is not a sin to make plans. It's not wisdom. They had to quickly scramble and try to do something because nothing happened. We must be wise because we live in a world that has darkness, evil, deception. Messiah is our example. Messiah was gentle and yet